Hello everyone! Welcome to Messy Heart, where we dive deep into troubling accounts and messy relationships, hoping to provide support and advice to those who might seek it. Let's head into our first story. Listen carefully and give us your thoughts on the comments section. Story 1. People told me I am too ugly for my wife. My wife, F28, and I am 31, are one of the happiest couples someone could ever meet. We are still hopelessly in love and are best friends. We have a large close-knit friend group, and one of our best friends told us she thinks we make marriage look easy, which we took as a massive compliment. We've been together for 6 years and married for 2. She's a beautiful woman with light brown hair of Irish/Scottish ancestry. She's kind, sweet, and empathetic, and is a high school art teacher. She's very pretty and has a body as lovely as her personality. I am a 5'9" Native American guy with long black hair and am on the chunky side. Not fat, I'm a size medium for shirts/jackets, etc., but I'm a bit stocky. Back in high school, I was considered attractive as I was lucky enough to have plenty of flings and had 4 serious GFs who were also very pretty. I was a wild kid who was sort of a rule breaker and a guy who generally loved to have fun. I also was much fitter than I am now. I ran track, took Muay Thai classes, and had a six-pack. That was a fun time in my life. But nowadays, I guess I've gone from a specific cutie to a type, as certain people seem attracted to me and others find me gross or just directly unattractive. That's totally fine, obviously. I don't need or want everyone I meet to find me attractive. But that's not where the issue lies. Since my wife and I have gotten together, over the last 6 years we've probably met about 15 to 20 people, always women, who we meet and chat with who tell us, "Wait, you guys are together?" And either give us a confused look or straight up tell us that they don't get why she's with me. One girl we met was even clearly angry that my wife was with me and said I didn't deserve to be with her. A few have asked how I managed to gaslight my wife into marrying me. One woman told me I must have been rich to be married to my wife. Another woman told me she didn't believe we were married. The other day was our anniversary, and we went to a local bar for some cocktails. When we tell her it was our anniversary, the bartender looks at us dumbfounded and says to my wife, "You don't seem like you're married. You don't look like he's your type." And then when I got angry and asked what the holy fuck that meant, she goes, "So I mean, you guys don't seem married, you have first date energy." WTF. Look, I'm no Ryan Gosling. But I'd like to think I'm not Danny frickin' DeVito or a troll living under a bridge. Every woman I've dated, about 8 over my adult life, has commented to me that I have a pretty face and am attractive. I get that on the spectrum between Seth Rogen and Channing Tatum, I'm closer on that scale to Rogen. I don't look like him at all, but if you took an entire spectrum between those two people, I'd be closer to Rogen than Tatum. I get that. But I've never considered myself straight up ugly, and throughout my life I've never had anyone I've been in a relationship with or hooked up with call me ugly or imply that I'm ugly. You know, now that I think about it, the only time this started happening was when my now wife and I got together. I am so sick of it. What gives people the balls to straight up say to me that I'm too ugly for my wife? Apparently plenty, because it's happened to me 15 to 20 times now. When that bartender tried to pull that shit, I guess that was the last straw for me, because I got mad and I asked her to explain what she meant, and when she tried deflecting and making excuses, I kept telling her to explain, until I just straight up said, "You're saying I'm too ugly to be with my wife. You're saying she's too hot for me." She made a face like a kid with their hand in the cookie jar, and then she started apologizing. I paid the tab and we left. And now, 2 days after our anniversary, I'm sitting here in my car trying to understand what the hell is going on with these women telling me I'm too ugly for my wife. Can you imagine the kind of disgusting person you have to be to feel comfortable saying this to a stranger? Again, I'm definitely no Ryan Gosling. But I dress well, I keep myself clean, I watch my weight and exercise, I'm covered in tattoos, and I like to think I have a good sense of fashion. I wear nice cologne, shower daily, and I keep myself well groomed. In public, I am nice/polite to people/strangers, and it takes a lot for me to become ornery with people. I am a musician and an audio engineer. I just do not understand what is going on here. After this latest incident, I'm going insane trying to understand WTF is happening. Does anyone have any idea what's going on here? What piece of advice would you give to OP? Let us know down in the comments, and let's move on to our next story. Story 2. Why is my dad like this? Growing up, my father was the stay-at-home parent. He would take me to school, sports practice, etc. He was always involved, loving, and caring. This all changed when I was a senior in high school and he started going back to work. He would come home complaining, ranting to me and my mother about his day, and started becoming an alcoholic. He would lock himself in his study, get completely drunk, and call anyone who would pick up. Continued for 4 years until this past summer, he was caught cheating. His phone was pinging in the middle of the night, and when my mom looked over at his phone, she found out a woman was messaging him explicit videos and texts. When my mom confronted him about it, he was still completely drunk and said, "This is none of your business, it's just for fun. Why are you overreacting to something so insignificant?" He proceeded for the next 3 days to drink until oblivion, scared to be sober and face reality. We had a family talk, and he still does not completely understand why what he did was wrong. He does not understand why I am so upset over it either. He tells me it's because your mother is too strong. I wronged your mother, not you. Your mother and I have not had a romantic relationship in years, that's why I had an affair. When you grow up, don't be so strong like your mother. Mind you, my father had been sleeping with her on and off for the past 10 years and sent her money monthly. After all that, he begged my mom not to leave him and is now sober. While his drinking problems have gone away, one, I don't know how long it will last, and 2, it doesn't seem like he is able to understand my mother and I's perspectives. How is he supposed to change/be sorry when he doesn't understand the problem? Looking back, for the past 4 years, he always played the victim in any situation, needs constant ego boosting, and gets upset over even the smallest of criticisms. Sometimes someone says something neutral and he overreacts, thinking it is a criticism. He comes home, never asks how our days were, rants angrily at my mother about how he was wrong throughout the day. It's constantly, "I did nothing wrong, why was I treated this way?" When my mom offers advice, he twists her into the villain. It's exhausting to listen to, and I resent him for putting my mother through his emotional manipulation. I don't know if anyone has experienced anything similar. I'm struggling to understand what kind of a person he is. There were no family problems, maybe I was too young to understand, but his issues have seemed to magnify and snowball over the years to a point where I am tired and done with him. Would love advice on how to deal with someone like this. Share your thoughts with us, and let's move on to our next story. Story 3. My girlfriend cheated on me when I got diagnosed with cancer. What would you do in this situation? This was around 2 years ago. My whole family was in distress as the reports from biopsy came and my father got diagnosed with cancer. She had to attend an important office event outside of the city, so she went there after a couple of days. Unfortunately, my father passed away after 7 months. I was somehow adjusting to life without my father until in July of 2023, a random girl texted me on Insta that her boyfriend and my girlfriend got involved during that work trip, and she had all the proofs like photos, voice calls. My whole world fell apart at that time. I confronted my girlfriend. She denied at first, but later admitted that they were a little drunk and things got intense, but she kept on insisting that they didn't have sex. All of this time, I was trying to find a reason why she did that, because I loved her more than anything in this world. After that, both of us took therapy to seek some answers, and I got to know that she was physically abused in her childhood. The therapist said it wasn't her fault, and the guy took advantage of her because she was too vulnerable at that time and left it to me either continue or break up with her. She was there the whole time when my father was hospitalized before his demise. I decided to give our relationship a second chance, and she is also putting up efforts in our relationship, but deep down in my heart, there is some part that hasn't forgiven her. It was literally the worst phase of my life. Right now, it feels like I am falling out of love and I don't have the same desire as I had for her. She had anger, anxiety, and behavioral issues before this incident, but somehow it improved after this incident, maybe because of the effort she put in. What hurts me the most is the timing of the event, not the event itself. It feels like I am betraying my father if I continue with her. Please advise, our families are involved and they are planning to get us married in 2 years. But I am not sure, I don't feel the same for her no matter how much effort she put for me now. I know she loves me, but whenever any old behavioral pattern comes up, I go back in the past and start questioning my decision to stay with her. How about that one? Let us have your thoughts and advice down in the comments section. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to check out our other videos and, as always, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Never forget that your smile is your best feature. Wear it proudly. See ya. Share your thoughts on the story as we dive into our next story. Story 4. I'm having a hard time with my boyfriend's behaviors. 9 months into the relationship, I, 22F, found out that he, 22M, had a screenshot of a half-naked girl on his phone. He knows her. Until now, I've never got suspicious about him, and I've never touched his phone. We recently returned from a trip and we took photos with his phone, so I asked him his phone to look at the photos. Scrolling, I found this screenshot that he took 2 months before our trip. I asked him about it, and he said that he doesn't remember. I asked him again, and he said the same. And I didn't believe him, so there began my distrust. My gut was telling me that there was something more, so I took his phone while he was sleeping, and I found a bunch of NSFW photos of his ex. I scrolled some texts with his best friend, whom he tells almost everything, and I found out that when we first got together, he was still F-king his ex and then eventually broke up. They were broken up before he met me because she cheated more that one time, but they continued meeting. Obviously, I didn't know anything about this. But the thing that horrified me is that he was speaking to his friend about me like I was trash, meanwhile said she will never be like my ex and that he would want to meet her very soon because he misses her. Notice that all of this convo happened almost 3 months prior to our trip. I was devastated but decided to not tell anything to him. So I asked him the day after, "Is there anything else you have to say to me?" He said no. Of course, I asked him again hoping that he would tell me, but he said no. So I told him the truth about what I found out. He began crying and said that it happened 3 months ago and now he has started to love and appreciate me. It has been 1 month since all of this happened and he continues begging me to forgive him and that he admits he is in a hole and that wants to change. I think he sucks, but I feel love for him, but I don't think I will ever forget all about this.